What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm sick,
And I'm in pain.
and this is Bardic Blunders. It is probably immediately apparent that I sound awful. So, we're just gonna power through. I've got my tea that is filled with whiskey, uh, and we'll see how long it takes for that to actually start affecting me. Probably not long. I'm not gonna play Fallout 3, Gore. Not today. I'm sick. I want to lay down after this. How do I always get ill? I have a horrible immune system. I have all sorts of health issues. It's just the natural flow of things. But the first thing we got on our topic board is a horrendous blunder from Helldivers, mostly on the part of Sony, uh,
Sony,
which
not Helldiver.
which managed to play itself out entirely in between our two podcasts, so we didn't really get to talk about it in the moment. Um, Eat dirt to improve immune system. I'm sure that'll work.
It worked for me. I never
Good,
get sick anymore.
good night, Gore. Well, it should have worked for me because I ate a lot of dirt as a kid, but I still got sick. So,
Doubt. Press X to doubt.
dude, I drank out of the garden hose so many times.
I doubt.
you
Press
know,
X to doubt.
you know,
You never left the side of your home.
I left the inside of my home more frequently as a kid than I do now. As a kid, I was like, I played outside all the time. Just do stupid things like go fight the neighbors with lightsabers or something like that. Now it's like, unless I'm required to leave my house, I prefer to stay at home. But
Oh,
anyways,
nice.
uh, Helldivers went through a little spat over the weekend where they were going to force all of the players to connect a PSN account in order to keep playing the game. Well, the oh gosh, hold on, brain not working right. The reason most people were mad about this is because it was considered optional at launch. So a lot of people bought the game in countries where you can't make a PSN account. Uh, so a lot of these players would have lost access to the game if they were required to make one because they would have had the option of either abandon the game that they've been playing and have loved playing for the past 3 months, or use a VPN to illegally create a PSN account and possibly get their account banned if Sony should find out about that. Uh, but another thing that people in that weren't in those said countries that couldn't get a PSN were pissed about is the fact that Sony is notoriously terrible with its users' data. Like, they get hacked bi-yearly. It's like, seriously. Ever since 2011, it's like every other year Sony has gotten hacked. And so all these people were just like, why would we want to make a PSN and connect it to our Steam so you have all the information off of our Steam? It's just giving Sony even more sensitive information that you know they can't be trusted with. So it was a whole fiasco. Eventually, it worked itself out where enough people review bombed the game and requested refunds that Sony eventually stepped back and were like, whoops, sorry. We didn't realize that you guys were smart enough to realize that this was a terrible decision for you. So we'll just go ahead and back it off. I think Arrowhead had a big a big part in reversing the decision, especially after, at first, a lot of people were pissed at Arrowhead. Probably mainly because of one of the community managers making the stupidest post that I've ever seen a community manager make. Okay, I can't say that. I've seen some pretty bad. Excuse me. I've seen some pretty bad posts, but that one was pretty stupid. He basically commented like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna refund the game," when somebody levied criticism at him, and he eventually took that down and apologized. But props to Arrowhead and props to the fans of Helldivers for fighting back against Sony, because that would have been one of the dumbest decisions to kill one of the hottest games at the moment.
Okay, so here's a thing from Twinbeard, who is Arrowhead's big community manager. Baskinator is their European one.
Mm-hmm.
Twinbeard is ours. It was Sony's decision, not ours. Secondly, we don't have all the details about the region-related issues. It doesn't have a day on that one, but...
I feel like I just missed something. Did you pause in there, or?
Did you hear what Twinbeard said?
I just heard Sony? I just heard it has we were unaware about the region related issues, and then there was just a pause.
Oh, they're chasing Sony to get answers. I don't know when that tweet was, but it was a response to the issues that they were bringing up.
I know.
But it was Sony.
I remember seeing that one. It was not too long after the initial backlash, because basically once Arrowhead realized the issue of a lot of people being locked out of the game because they couldn't make a PSN, that's when Arrowhead kind of turned around and was like, wait a minute, we didn't realize that was a problem. Yeah, actually, we shouldn't move forward with this. What's up, group? What's up, Shadow City? No, you didn't miss anything. We're just talking about the whole Helldivers fiasco over the weekend, where Sony almost just took the game out back and told it to look at the rabbits for no explainable reason. That's not true. I can't say it's no explainable reason. Sony wanted to do that, no doubt, to make it look like they had more people, like a more active player base interacting with one of their games. Because if people are connected to a PSN, it makes them look more impressive, basically. That was Sony's incentive. Still, it's stupid. It's the dumbest decision. They would literally be printing money if they just left it alone, and then they still decided to monkey with things. I don't know why.
Yep.
But leave it to Sony to make a stupid decision to try and squeeze a few extra bucks out of people. They will still be forced to make a PSN account one day with Helldivers. I don't think Sony can ever push that, because I think it, from here on out, if they ever try and do it again, there's going to be the same amount of backlash. Because if it was right off the bat and it was made clear right off the bat, then it wouldn't have been a big deal, honestly, because you just don't put it up on Steam in countries that can't make a PSN. But it's still a stupid decision, because you're basically hog-tying the game and keeping it from growing to its potential. You're saying, nope, it's going to grow to about here, and then it's going to stop. It was so stupid. You want to stop a large portion from completely playing the game by changing the agreed upon rules? Full refunds it is. Yeah, that's absolutely. And Valve was more than willing to start issuing refunds for something like that. They were like, oh, what's that? They waited until after the 3 month period to make this change? Okay. Yeah, the gloves are off. The whole 2 hours played, barring refunds. Yep, nope, we're going to remove that rule because, I mean, they literally made the game unplayable. So,
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is I brought this up earlier this week to you. I that we're slowly entering a new era of gaming that's turning into the Wild West of gaming
right.
because indie companies are really taking the cake for a lot of games. Like a good question is what games are going to be on the game of the year uh board this year?
Helldivers, Lethal Company. There'll be some shoehorned AAA titles, even if, I mean, what has come out thus far this year? I'm actually not sure because I haven't been keeping up to date with new games. Shut up, phone. Games released this year. Dragon's Dogma will probably be on there.
Yeah, but is that a AAA studio?
I believe it is. It's Capcom.
Oh, well, it's Capcom. I don't.
Stellar
Um,
Blade might
I'm.
be on there.
I have a feeling Little Kitty Big City might make it on there.
Could. Definitely could.
Just depends how much love that game gets. Tekken 8 will be on there.
Hades 2 will probably be on there as well. That game just came out like yesterday or today and has been
It blown up.
exploding.
I tuned into Matt's stream today. Oh, Star Wars Outlaws will be on there, but it probably won't win. Um, I tuned into Matt's stream, and he was like, I'll stream it after I finish what I'm streaming today.
Yeah.
So he started like 4 hours early to stream what he wanted to then go stream that.
Yeah, a lot of people are loving that game. I mean, the first Hades was lavished, had praise lavished upon it. So it wouldn't surprise me if the second one was even better. Um, we've been slowly losing the rights to own entertainment since digital releases became a thing. That is true. A lot of companies have been trying to force that down our throats. Ubisoft being one, which, yeah, no, those companies can burn. I legitimately despise the idea of them trying to make it so we can't own our own stuff anymore. Like, I paid for the thing, it's mine. Uh, didn't the game? If you're talking about Dragon's Dogma 2, a lot of people loved the game. The biggest gripe I saw about it was that there was some stupid microtransactions that weren't even necessary to the game. It was basically just, do you want to progress in the game faster? Then you can give us money. And it was a single player game, so it was the dumbest thing in the world. Uh, School is about to be out, and we'll see a bunch of AAA titles announced for the fall. That's true. Yeah, they like to wait until a
Wait,
little bit later.
I mean, what games could be coming out is the question
I
because
have
like
no idea, man.
Halo won't have any. Well, 343 won't have anything.
I mean, let's see. Let's see. Upcoming release schedule. Let's jump to May. Dun, 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 dun. Nothing of note. Sinuous Saga Hellblade 2. That's going to be a big one. A lot of people loved the first Hellblade game. Let's see. June. And Destiny 2 thing. Nah. Shin Megami Tensei 5. That could be fairly large.
I have no
Excuse me.
clue.
It's what the Persona franchise was derived off of, but Persona has exploded in popularity and become bigger than Shin Megami Tensei.
No.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, but that's a DLC, so I don't think it can be up for Game of the Year.
No, there's a certain category that it'll be in.
Yeah. The time I got
Baldur's Gate will also be in that category, so gotta watch out for them.
time I got reincarnated as a slime, a Psyche Chronicles. They're making a game based off of that anime. That's interesting. 40K Space Marine 2 in September.
I don't know how that one will do. I'm interested to play it with a group of friends because it's 3-player co-op, which is a really weird one.
That'll be interesting. What I find most frustrating is that time and time again, games have made way more money when the higher ups don't meddle unless absolutely necessary. Dude, it's literally, and I mean, it goes into the gaming companies drinking stupid juice. The guys in the suits want so badly to be in control of everything that they don't realize they're actively ruining everything by doing that. Considering they don't have a freaking clue uh, how games are made or how the gaming industry works, they just decide to try and stick their grubby fingers in it because they want all the credit. They want to get all the money, they want to get all the praise, so they want to control how things are made, and it always ruins things. They're freaking morons, and they should just stay out of it. Uh, they wait till you can
Yes,
bother your parents all the time.
Shadow City, there is a new Space Marine game coming out. It is Warhammer 40K. You
Well,
might be too young to know about the first one because that came out when I was a kid.
they want things to be like the manga industry. Yeah. Well, they've got this stupid idea of how game development works. Like, I mean, Matt Colville has talked about it when he was developing Mercenaries 2, Mercenaries
Yeah.
3, whichever one. And there was a specific mission where it was like you had to start the mission in one corner of the map, and you had to uh, play the brunt of the mission in the other corner of the map. So the exact opposite end of the map. Well, their idea was let's just teleport the player there. But since nothing else like that happens through the entire game, the suits were like, no, you can't do that. You have to find a way to make them get through that part. So they experimented with doing a helicopter section, and no matter how they tried to structure it, it sucked. And it just dragged the game down. If you give people who are enemies that are too easy, then it's just tedious. If you give them enemies that are too hard, they get frustrated because they keep dying and having to reset and try and fly this whole way again. So in the end, they just said, screw the suits, we're doing it this way. And they managed to handle the suits in that situation. But a lot of the times, oh, you're not doing what I want you to, you're fired.
Yep. And that's where you get a whole bunch of indie studios just popping up.
Yep. Hey, did that game development company screw you over too? Yeah. You want to make a company ourselves? Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, hey, that guy got
Like there's
screwed over by a different company.
have you heard what's going on in the movie industry here lately?
No.
A bunch of actors who have got blacklisted over in Hollywood have come together to form their own Hollywood Atlanta.
Sick. Do you want to hear what, group? Um, yeah, but I mean that's the way it goes. And now I will say the caveat is while indie developers have largely been responsible for most of the quality in the gaming industry in recent years, there are times when it can go wrong and they can be driven by greed as well, which Tarkov is an example of that. I don't know if you saw this whole thing with Tarkov. Uh, yeah, it's
Oh,
probably
not at all.
about a week ago at this point. Um, Basically, Escape from Tarkov announced that they were going to have a $250 DLC. The DLC was essentially pay to win. We give you a bunch of good stuff for the game, so you get advantage over the other players you're playing against. The next caveat is they had previously sold a $100 edition of the game that came with the promise that you would receive all future DLC for free if you purchased that $100 version of the game. So when the 251 was announced and they said, "Oh no, players who purchase that version won't get the $250 version, they have to pay for it." Uh you can imagine a lot of people were pissed. Not only had they gone back on their word, but they released a exorbitantly priced pay to win quote unquote expansion. Oh, it's an expansion. It's not a DLC, so we don't have to give it to you for free. Um and I mean, yeah, it that pissed a lot of people off, and basically the guy who runs that studio came back with the response initially that no, it was totally reasonable and they weren't going to change it, and then that, oh, okay, fine, we'll give players people who bought the $100 edition a discount, and then eventually got pushed towards I don't remember what the actual compromise was, but he was essentially his response essentially became, fine, if you guys aren't willing to pay $250 for something, like, geez, what's wrong with you guys? It's not that much. And yeah, it didn't work. Except, like, how Helldivers managed to get Sony to backpedal, this guy's not backpedaling. They're still trying to sell a $250 DLC, and it is killing the game. But I think an important thing to be drawn from this, both studios are not going to have the trust of their player base anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to like, nobody's going to trust Escape from Tarkov or even Helldivers, even though Arrowhead tried to fight against Sony and stood up to them. uh they're
Yeah, it's
still they've lost some goodwill, and it's going to be harder to trust the game going forward, because
it was so
even
funny. You
though
sent me that stuff, and I immediately went, "Oh, that's Sony, not Arrowhead."
well, and that's the problem, was initially Arrowhead was responding like they agreed with it, and it was like, ooh, not a good look, guys. And then when the realization came, the true weight of that decision, Arrowhead did turn around. So I can at least give them respect for that. But regardless, whether it's Arrowhead or Sony, you can't really trust the game anymore.
Yeah.
Did Sony truly back off, or are they going to try something like this again? Or are they going to try something else? Like, are they going to try and take another angle? What are they going to do to try and take advantage of their players? Because that seems to be the MO for any gaming companies. How can we bleed our players dry? Um, and it's just it's despicable, really. And Pirate Software talked about it. He was like he said he worked overtime for 2 years straight working on StarCraft 2. And StarCraft 2 made less money in a month than the first shiny horse armor DLC did for World of Warcraft in a week. A
Yeah.
$15 DLC made more money. So if you wonder why developers still hammer out microtransactions, that's why. Once the player's base goes down by half, they will try again. I mean, it's still. I think they. I wouldn't doubt them trying again, but I think every time they try it, it's just gonna. It's gonna continue to splash back in their face. Since Helldivers is live service, if they keep up what they've done for the past 3 months and keep things interesting, they're gonna retain a large player base. So it's never going to be easy to try and sneak that in. Yes, exactly,
Uh,
group. Exactly.
I would also say this might be after Arrowhead finishes their contract with Sony. I think Arrowhead will not sign back with Sony,
Right.
and that will probably gain a lot of respect for Arrowhead.
Well, and Pirate Software has talked about that before, too. He's like, you don't need a publisher for your video game. Publishers only get in the way. Yeah, sure, they can get your video game more recognition. But, I mean, this is a prime example of that. Sony nearly killed Helldivers. Legitimately, they almost axed the game in one stupid move. Even
Yeah.
though they could have just sat there and made their money, they still tried to make a stupid decision and just slide it by players.
The only difference is that I have to say is uh that what Sony and Microsoft basically do, because those are the two big companies if you think about it.
Yeah.
When it comes to gaming, is they basically are paying these studios for uh exclusives, yes, but at the same time they're keeping the lights on in these studios to get games just for them. And that's the only reason why video games have publishers now, because like
Well, it,
if we could just if the gaming industry didn't require that much money to like actually pay a bunch of people, hands down the gaming industry would not be ran by Microsoft or Sony. It would be a bunch of indie groups, make a game, get out for a while, make another game, get out for a while.
well, yeah, it's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship where uh basically Sony or Microsoft fund this studio to allow them to actually make the game they want to and give them a bigger platform so they can get recognized easier. Where on the other end of things, they benefit from the game being made. They get a cut of the game. They, you know, there's all sorts of things that go into it that it's incentive laced for both sides. But especially recently, it certainly feels like the bigger game developing companies, the publishers, are a lot like record companies were for musicians back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like
Yeah.
incredibly predatory and just barely worth the hassle of working with them.
You know what we should do if we get rich?
Oh,
Just go and fund these gaming industries, like different gaming studios, and be like, yeah, here's the money. We just want to cut. Peace out. Have fun.
Oh, dude, I'd love to create a publishing company like that. That would be really cool.
And just be like, we don't care anymore. You just get the game out. We'll help you with that, whatever you need. If you need these kind of people, we'll go and find them for you.
Right. Yeah, that would be great. And the thing is, like, obviously you need to make money, but a great example is Moist Critical has a media group for YouTube called Human Media Group. You know what
Mm-hmm.
old media groups like Machinima and stuff like that used to take?
It
30 to
it was
40%.
yeah,
You know what Human Media Group takes?
zero.
5.
Oh
They have to take some money because otherwise it's, they really don't benefit, and they'd be bled dry, you
yeah.
know giving.
Well, if you have something else funding that, it works.
Yes, but when the same guy's also running an esports organization, and the
Yeah.
money sink that is, like, all sorts of
Well,
things that.
did you hear anything that happened with Moist Critical?
Yes, all the fact that he's suing US immigration, it's pretty freaking funny.
Yeah.
uh People are cheering over games no longer being exclusive to any platform, but this is literally a result of the need for competition dying. Yeah. Big game companies are essentially one big monopoly, and they know it. Yep. What's up, Adam? That could work, but if you look at the ashes of creation, you dump move into games, but they take forever without any dump money into games, but they take forever without direction. That is true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow City. That whole with U.S. immigration having, which also learning through that process that you can't really sue the U.S. government in a typical fashion. I was like, that's a little bad, you know.
Yeah.
The fact that, so I don't know if you know this or if you saw his video talking about how he's suing U.S.
Oh,
immigration. When you sue the government, even if you win, they're not liable for any
yeah.
of the damages they caused. So basically, in this situation, he won't get any of the money back he wasted trying to get his team into the country.
Yep.
And the government protects the individual that was making this decision, so he can't even sue them on an individual level.
Okay. So about that, you can if they violate your constitutional rights, but
But it's still difficult to get to them.
you see that a lot with police officers getting sued personally, or
Right.
FBI, like the big agencies, like even the post office can have that happen to them.
Shadow City, the pain thing is because I am in pain. I am very sick right now. Uh, America wanted guns against the government, not effective political power. Sometimes you get what you ask for. Yeah, there'll probably be a revolution in a year or two, so. But that's getting into politics. Let's move back into movies. So this is a thing I saw. Yes, I am dying. We're all dying if you think about it, eventually. The slow, unending march of time will eventually take its hold on us all, and we will fade away into obscurity.
Don't worry, I'll take over your channel when you're gone.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you think that I'm going to die before you.
Man, that's a very roundabout way of saying that I was gonna die early.
I mean, I know I'm a bag of walking health problems, but good grief.
How I've made it this far is a miracle unto itself.
Depresso espresso. Oh boy. To be able to die is to be alive. To be immortal is to lose all sense in being.
That's a good quote, bro.
That is a good quote. I like that. No, but I saw this post on Twitter the other day, and it's by discussing film, and it says sex and nudity in movies has decreased by almost 40%. Movies with no sexual content has increased from 20% per year to 50%. So about half of all movies released now uh, contain no sexual content. Now, I thought this was interesting. Literally just made it up. Well, dang, that's a pretty solid quote for just making it up off the top of your head, I gotta say. Uh, Now, I found this interesting um, because 90% of the comments under this were okay, that's an OnlyFans. I shouldn't be scrolling through this comment anymore, the comment section anymore. Let's block that account. Uh, 90% of the comments under this are saying, oh, there should be more sex in movies. Now, I hold the opinion that if one of these scenes, I'm going to start not referring to it as that because I think if you say that word too many times, YouTube gets angry. So, uh, because China don't want to see any of that. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see any of that either. If a scene has a point in a movie, okay. If it's used for a joke, if whatever. If there's some sort of reason to actually show the scene, fine. But 99% of the time, you can show the prelude and you can show the aftermath. You don't actually have to show the scene. It isn't the same, no. But it still does get irritating. Like when you're sitting watching a movie with your parents, prune. I like prune actually to replace the other word. I was trying to think
I
because the only thing I
was
could think
calling
to
you
replace the one word was like woohoo from The Sims.
I think Alex was calling you a prune.
Oh, I think he meant to call me a prude. Terminator is a good way to show it. Yeah, Terminator did a good job not making it
XR it.
uncomfortable. Uh, but it's like that. I've definitely watched movies where I'm sitting there watching it with my parents, and I'm like, okay, pretty interesting action movie. All right, and now I'm sitting on the couch with my parents, and this woman is just getting plowed. Like, cool. Really didn't want to watch that scene when I'm in the same room as my parents. Don't love that. Like, you know what? You could show them getting hot and bothered and getting into the moment, but and then show them afterwards, like in bed, like, oh yeah, clearly you know what happened. But most of the time, I'd say it's really unnecessary to have a fully acted out sex scene. Isn't the thing that's disappearing before and aftermath suggestion? Well, I think it's just as a base, nudity and sexual content has been decreased on average. Um, which I think there's definitely some times where that's essential to the narrative. And like you need to have a scene that at least alludes to these two characters doing the uh,
The boogie
doing
woogie.
the sideways shuffle.
It's the horizontal shuffle. Get it right.
Yeah, but sideways is alliterative. Uh,
What?
we all know the reason Game of Thrones got worse was they started to hold back. Um,
Yeah, you can go ahead and take that one. Well, I continued to try and fix my damn PC.
Oh yeah, you're fixing your computer right now. See, and it's not even necessarily nudity that bothers me, because it's like, okay, whatever. There's a certain extent to where I'm like, okay, let's not expose kids to that, basically. But I'm more so when it starts leaning into the actual act, when it starts showing that, like, I'm trying to think of a movie. I know a lot of people said Oppenheimer had a really
Napoleon.
grossly displayed sex scene where it just went on for like 15 minutes and did not leave much to the imagination. And I was like, cool, that seems a little unnecessary. Game of Thrones. See, I like Game of Thrones. I have seen uh, the scene where I don't know any of the names. The dragon
Uh,
lady shows up when she's covered in dirt and she's got the dragons with her. And she's just like fully nude. Like I've seen some of those scenes from the show where it's just like situational nudity, I guess is what you would call it. And it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, big deal. And I mean, the show's rated R. It's well, it's a different rating for TV,
it's
but
rated M.
M, yeah, I didn't remember the TV rating. So it's like clearly not content meant for kids because there's also a horrifying amount of violence in that show. So that gratuitous gratuitous scenes is what you are against, it feels like, but I think the article is referring to even the idea of people doing it. And it's possible. It's not a full article, it was just a Twitter post. Let's see. It has linked. Okay, so there is an article actually by The Economist that it linked.
Yeah, don't believe that at all.
Yeah. Now I feel like I want to do some more research into this. Oh, I can't even finish the freaking article because it's got one of those stupid, oh, you sign up for The Economist. Alright, that is dumb. Yeah, now I that kind of throws the whole thing into, because I was gonna say I feel like it's it's not entirely accurate to say that stuff has been phased out because I've seen more, like, I mean, and I granted, yes, it's people online who are like, oh my gosh, did you see this scene in this movie? And so a lot, whenever a scene like that happens, people tend to start posting it everywhere and being like, oh my gosh, look at this scene. But and so maybe that's why it seems like there's been more recently. But I was kind of confused. I'm like, yeah, I guess you don't get moments like in what's the movie where the lady
Brokeback.
does the little where she lifts her leg off to the side and she's not wearing anything under there and uncrosses her legs on one side and crosses it again on the other side in front of all the dudes, and they're all like, you know, standing at full attention. No,
Oh boy,
don't know what I'm talking
that
about.
where did that just come from? Oh my god, I'm so annoyed with this damn PC. Where does this go? Son of a
I don't even think
biscuit.
he's listening to me anymore.
That's.
I really don't think he's listening to me anymore. I think he's just
I
getting
think
angry at a computer. Gosh. But yeah, there's not as many subtle scenes. Where did you find that scene and did the site start with a P? Okay. What was that movie called? I haven't even seen that movie. I just know it because it's a famous scene.
I can hear you, Power. I can hear the wine.
Did you hear that, guys? You can hear the whine.
I have beard hair all through my stupid computer. You don't need a monitor to turn on a PC, right?
No.
Okay.
Basic Instinct. That's the name of the movie. Uh, but yeah, in Basic Instinct, she does that little thing, kind of just. I don't even know what the point is because I've seen that. That scene is like a well-known, famous scene of like, whoa, did they really do that in a movie in the '80s? Uh, it's been weirdly extremely sexual the last couple of years. YouTube ads, dude. YouTube ads are unbelievable sometimes. It's just like, oh, hey, here's a stupid mobile game, but oh, if you download the mobile game, you'll get spicy pictures. And it's like, what are you even doing? Like, yeah, I know what ad you're talking about, group. Why do they do that? And it's like out of nowhere too. It like you'll get one ad and it'll be like, oh, come to rooms to go to buy a new table, and it's like, oh, okay. And you get the next ad and it's some woman moaning into the microphone, and I'm like, ugh, ugh. This may be off topic, but you just heard this. Did you know that a few months ago the creator of the Mandela catalog was involved in a whole bunch of drama? I did not know that. Sex sells. That is true, but it seriously is freaking irritating, the ads you get. And you get them on Twitter, too.
Don't even get me started on iPhone.
Oh, dude. The iFunny ads, I have gotten straight up prune in the iFunny ads before. Because of Alex Flub, that's...
With that,
What?
I'm dumb. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Oh, okay.
I have my head in a... I'm not paying attention to you. This one go up here.
Cool.
Make more one up, but I don't trust you.
What was I saying? You've completely thrown me off. I forgot what I was saying.
It doesn't go up there.
Oh, yeah. iFunny is the worst about it because literally iFunny, I've gotten those ones that it's just like, take these pills to get a bigger, a bigger wiener. You're like, huh?
You need a bigger hot dog? Call this phone number.
Yeah, it's like iFunny has given me those ads before, and then the thing iFunny does that is so confusing, it will you'll see the ad for just a second as you're scrolling through memes, and you stop and you go back, and it's a different ad. It's like iFunny tries to gaslight you that it didn't just show you just straight up hardcore.
Don't you mean momcore?
The McDonald's advert of someone eating a pineapple burger on a beach in extremely skimpy clothing like 10 years ago. There was a Dutch ad that was an image of a girl with the text, F them in the ass here. Whoa. Oh, I actually took a screenshot of this ad that was on YouTube because of how egregious it was. And, I mean, honestly, I can't lie. I did laugh at it at the time, but... I'm going to have to sift through quite a lot to find it. because I don't remember when it was. Ah, there it is. It was an ad for udates.com. I was watching a JonTron video at the time, and the title of the ad, Bow Chicka Wow Wow Night. Craving some 100% all beef thermometer to test? Dive into her meat market on dating site. And it's just a woman sitting there. She's dressed. I mean, it's definitely super tight clothing, but I was just like in disbelief at that. Dive into her meat market. Ugh. Ugh.
I
That's such a gross way of describing that. Good night, Gore. But yeah, that was a YouTube ad. A YouTube ad gave me that. Ridiculous.
ridiculous. I just saw a light come on inside this. No, I'm seeing through my computer. Work, damn you!
Oh boy. But yeah, that's I think, it might also kind of be a, what would be the term for that? Almost like a trick, because when everything else is becoming so sexualized with the advertisements and such easy access to adult content and everything, in comparison it might not feel like movies have as much of that content, just because of how much we're exposed to it in other parts of our lives.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And that, so it could be, is placebo is not the right word for that, but it could essentially just be like a trick of the mind. Like before, when it wasn't so rampant everywhere, you know, it was like when there was a sex scene in a movie, it was pretty notable. Now it's just like, you log on to Facebook and you see more hardcore stuff than that. Desensitization, yes, that is pretty much. So it's basically like, since we see it all the time, when it happens in a movie, it's not as notable. So as a result, we equate it to not happening in movies as much, when really it's happening the same or more. We're just so much more used to it that we don't really bat an eye when it happens.
Yeah. I've lost the plot, man.
Yeah, I know. You've been so busy working on your computer that big reason for those scenes existing was shock value and being not something you saw elsewhere, and that is true. There's quite a lot of movies that used those as like a no, and you can see it in a lot of other media at the time too. Because if you go back to the '90s, there's a lot of music that starts slipping in curse words when it wasn't really acceptable to use curse words in songs prior to that. So when they would say it, they'd really emphasize it. Uh, so if you go like the quickest example, uh, uh, jeez, Lit is the band. Why did I just forget the? Um, My Own Worst Enemy. That's the name. If you go and listen to that song, there's the part in the line where the part in the song he says, "It's no surprise to me, I am my own worst enemy, 'cause every now and then I kick the living and he really puts emphasis in on the curse word. Like, you can hear how much he just wants that word to come off, and you can hear that in multiple songs around that time where they wanted to hammer it in that they were being rebellious, so they were using curse words, and this isn't your parents' music, we use naughty language here. And it was kind of the same thing with the sex scene. Yeah, that was about my reaction to Shadow City. I it was confusion, and then I couldn't help but laugh at the way it was worded, and I was like, my immediate thought when I read Bow Chicka Wow Wow Night, I was like, Tucker?
Wait, Tucker from Red versus Blue?
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of, like Bow Chicka Bow Wow. South Park episode pretty much nails what happened. Yeah, pretty much. That's the way it was in the 90s. Uh, that counterculture that came into the 90s so wanted to be rebellious, and they really put a lot of emphasis on it, and looking back on it, it's hilarious to listen to. At the time, it was one of those things where people would hear the song and be like, no.
Catch kids, catch your wife.
They didn't say that. Scandalous, you know. But now it's just like
old-timey sayings have really been getting me tonight.
Really? What do you mean old-timey sayings?
Oh, that's scandalous. Oh.
Yeah? What's another example? What other old-timey sayings have I said tonight?
You used the word prude in a sentence. I haven't heard that in forever.
Alex was the one that used prude.
No, he said prune.
Yeah, but
prude.
he meant to say prude.
Did he correct it?
I mean, when I said I think he meant to say prude, he responded yes. Oh yeah, group, that, like, Ashley Madison. Yeah, that I think is even more appalling. I'm I'm of the I'm saving myself for marriage. So I don't use Tinder or any of those other hookup sites. But the fact that there are dedicated websites to cheating on your significant other is gross to me. That is especially disgusting. Like, ugh. Ugh. The fact that there's an actual community of people who are not only willing to, but actively seeking to have an affair is gross. Tell Eli that having proper vocabulary is not old-timey, it's just intelligent. Yeah, exactly, Eli. I'm just intelligent.
Okay.
And I'm losing a lung. Oh.
I'm gonna worry about this some other time.
Life is short, have an affair. Yeah, that's Ashley Madison's tagline. That's no joke. When you open their website, it says life is short, have an affair, which is just diabolical. It is downright deplorable. Like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
To each their own. If you decide to have a new, if you decide to sleep with a new person every week or every night, like, it's your life. I can't tell you how to live it. I don't agree with it, but you do you, pretty much. But when you cross the line into actively cheating on somebody, that's when you're in the wrong. Period. I don't care. It's just you're being unfaithful, you're putting unnecessary strain on the person you're with. And when it comes to Ashley Madison and other websites, I'm sure there's other websites.
Let
I'm
me go
sure that's
sign
not
up
the
for
only
you right
one.
now.
Eli, I'm going to bludgeon you with your own leg. I'm going to saw your leg off and beat you to death with it. In game. In game, YouTube. That wasn't a real threat of violence.
YouTube don't believe him. Yes, it was.
But damn it, dude, you can't interrupt me like that. I forgot what I was saying.
Oh no!
Okay, now YouTube, this is a serious threat of violence. I'm gonna rip your nuts off and shove them down your throat, you jackass.
Oh, we're gonna get down with the sickness, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. I'm already down with the sickness right now. I have already gotten up and gotten down with the sickness.
You haven't truly gotten down with the sickness. Come on, get down with the thing.
Oh.
Stop dying. God, you're gonna make this episode unwatchable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like any of the others are watchable.
I mean, they all have me in them, so.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my
Who's
gosh.
messaging? Just Twitch.
Totally
I thought that was my
sick,
actual
nasty,
thing going
bro.
off.
Gnarly. Yeah, I'm sick as hell. I don't know why I did that. Nobody can see me. I did the little surfer with the pinky and the thumb out. You shake your hand back and forth. But I did that like people could actually see me, but... Oh, yeah, bro, I'm sick.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
Sick.
Sick as a dog, bro.
Yeah, bruv.
Don't say bruv. Don't say bruv.
Why not?
Because that would mean you're British scum.
Hey. British watchers.
Bro is so sick he's hallucinating his own face cam. That might be the whiskey in my tea. That certainly might be a contributing factor. I wonder if I could drink the whiskey straight out of the bottle, or if my body would reject it. It probably would.
Listen, can you just get drunk off stream?
No. It has to be for content.
So, I thought of a really funny thing that we could do.
What?
I don't know how well it would work.
Knowing you not well.
Okay, I dislike you even more. Anyway, shit. Lost word. Oh, we do a drunk stream?
Okay, here's the problem with that. I don't get drunk.
Fine, you can do a tipsy stream.
I don't even like to get tipsy. I don't like alcohol. The only reason I have it in my tea now is because it helps.
What are you drinking right now? What are you drinking right now?
Right now, nothing, because I finished my tea.
What was in your tea?
Honey, lemon juice, and a little bit of, like, half a shot of Tennessee honey whiskey. It wasn't even that much. It's called a
After
hot
you,
toddy, and it will kill a sore throat where it stands. Just straight up execute a sore throat. So I love it when I'm sick. That's why I always keep a bottle of Tennessee honey whiskey. There's no other reason for me to have the bottle except for making this stupid drink. I don't even like tea or alcohol. The only reason I
oh,
drink it is because it
I don't
makes me
like tea
feel
or
better.
alcohol. I'm still drinking it. Mm. Be a man and
Yeah,
chug a
at
day.
least I'm not like you where I like alcohol but I can't drink it but or else I make bad decisions.
Name one bad decision I made while drunk.
I can name quite a few, my friend, that I can't name on this podcast, or else you could get in a lot of trouble.
Hold on, text me one of them because
Dude, text me one of them. All you need is a bottle of vodka and a humidifier.
that actually sounds like a.
That sounds like a nightmare. Eli committed felony tax evasion confirmed. Yeah, but he didn't have to be drunk to do that.
I just do that for fun.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Any
Well,
God fearing American has has committed tax evasion.
they can't prove it now, so it's fine.
Oh boy. Just as a clarification to the Internal Revenue Service, I have not committed tax evasion. For all intents and purposes, this is a joke.
Don't believe him.
Just do weed
He's
instead. I don't want to
committed
do weed either.
He's committed mail fraud.
Yeah, of course. I can't commit female fraud. I'm a man.
Really cracked yourself up with that one, huh?
Yeah, well, it was that and your extended silence after like a sigh. It's just like you were processing, like, how do I respond to this? Oh boy.
Oh, that looks so dope.
Oh, you think you gave me your pestilence through the screen? I don't know. I've had this pestilence all day. It's just I think being in front of the screen has progressively made it worse.
It sounds like your problem.
Yeah, it is my problem. I am the one who's sick.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, okay.
When was the last time I got sick?
I don't know. I don't keep track of when you get sick.
Sucks to suck.
It's quite possible this is just a cold, but I mean, colds hit me harder than like legitimately debilitating sicknesses. I don't know why. I don't know if you've had that in the past where I'll be like, I'll have strep throat or something like that. Like something like that's actually a pretty decent, or like the flu. And I'll just be like at work fighting through it. But if I get a cold, it's like my body just shuts down.
Nope, I don't have that problem
Ah,
because I don't
well.
get sick.
Oh, yeah, okay. You got your immunity from blowing all those guys behind the dumpster. That's the other problem. When I get sick, I start to lose my filter, which is not a good thing for me.
Yeah, apparently I'm blowing guys.
Yeah, of course.
What else would I be doing on a Friday night?
Nothing. You don't get sick like that because you live in a healthy environment. Well, I get sick like that because I actually have an immune deficiency. My body just sucks. Like I get
It
sick,
really does.
my limbs just fall apart. Like no doubt, I'm going to die young. I
Uh, Friday night group. I already said this. I'm at the dumpster on Friday night. I actually have a really funny joke about that one.
Oh no.
The guy signs up to be a pirate on a pirate ship. The captain goes, "Okay, son. See that barrel over there? You can stick your hoo-ha in there, and you'll get whatever you want. 6 days of the week." And he goes, "Well, what about the seventh?" He goes, "Ah, you're in the barrel."
Good joke. I'm just bad at
Yep.
existing. See, my body just doesn't want me to exist.
Oh, get a better body.
Yeah, I can do that.
Not that hard.
Yeah, let's just do that classic head transplant.
Yeah, why not? Try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just starting to make some nice gains though. The rest of my body may be falling apart, but dude, I replace your weak flesh with cold hard steel. I walked into work the other day, and I wear a tank top because I stopped. So just clarification for everybody who watches: I'm currently a stalker. So at night, I I go to work late. I'm there after the store closes, and then I stock what's out in the store. Basically, I mean everybody knows what that is. I don't know why I have to explain this, but I after we close, I'm like I don't want to be in a button-up shirt or something like that when I'm stocking things, so I wear a tank top or just a normal shirt that I can take off the button up after we close. Well, I walk into work without the button up on. I have it in my backpack. So I walk in with a tank top, and one of the other guys was like, "Hey man, you need a permit for those guns. You can't be walking around like that." I was like, "Okay, that thanks. I appreciate that. That helps my self esteem." Tyler was right behind me uh, whenever he said that, and I turn around and I see Tyler, and he's walking to the break room too, and I look at Tyler. I'm like, somebody call a vet because these pythons are sick. And Tyler burst out laughing. I was like, I don't remember where I heard that, but it's the funniest way to make a remark about your biceps. And it has never failed to get a laugh from anybody I've told it to, because it's just the dumbest thing. Because everybody knows the whole, oh, you need a permit for those guns, or stuff like that. But not many people expect these pythons are sick. All right. Uh, Listen, I'd love to keep destroying my vocal cords talking. Um, but I would also
Yes, Shadow City. Spencer is Crumpet's real name.
Yes, that is my real name. Um,
Oh boy.
you got an
I don't
amazing
want.
clip group. What you got?
Oh no, I don't like where this is going. I love how I have my phone open. Oh, that's you. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Oh.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm currently a stalker. Well, don't like that one.
Oh yeah, I had a feeling after I said that someone was gonna clip it. I knew full well that one was coming. Oh boy.
I'm trying to find my quote to get you out of here faster.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might have my quote.
I gotta
Oh
find my.
yeah, I knew immediately after I said it too. I was like, someone's gonna clip that.
Uh, uh,
I'm stocking the shelves at night.
I love how we're just getting dead air because you're sick and I'm trying to read.
I was gonna say, oh boy.
Um,
I can read some other quotes that aren't related to the one I'm gonna. That's the dumbest. Okay. So I'm on a website that has a bunch of video game quotes. Because there was one
yeah.
I was looking for in particular, and I managed to find it. But for some reason, in amongst all these other ones, you got some that are like the "Stop right there, criminal scum" from Oblivion. Uh, but then it's got "I don't want to set the world on fire"
I
from
don't know.
Fallout
Set
3.
on fire.
That song
Okay.
isn't from Fallout 3. That's just from a song from the 50s.
Yeah.
Like what?
Okay. I got mine.
Okay. Uh Mine is it's more important to master the cards you're holding than to complain about the ones your opponents were dealt. It's Grimsley from Pokemon Black and White.
I'm pulling from my old quote generator here. Warhammer 40K.
Of course.
We do not know what our chances of survival are, so we fight as if they were zero.
Nice. Oh, that's definitely going to be my quote in a day when my voice isn't destroyed. Uh, but yep. So, the game I'm playing tomorrow is another Crab's Treasure. If I have recovered, if I'm still in this state, I don't think I'll stream tomorrow. I think I'd like to rest before I have to go to work.
Um, I am working on getting my PC fixed.
They
If I
can
can get
tell.
it done. If I can get it done, by the end of the week, I'll probably stream on Saturday. I have started my new job. Um, but I do either want to stream Little Kitty Big City or I will record it and post it up. Still have to get that up. I just haven't had time. I've been doing so much running around here lately.
Tell me about it.
You're not running anywhere.
No, not right now.
Pile of sickness.
Doesn't mean I haven't been pulled in 15 directions constantly.
I do want to play that game so badly. I want to play Little Kitty Big City so bad.
Okay, don't whisper it seductively into the mic.
I want to play it so bad.
It isn't even out yet.
Oh, it comes out in 2 days.
I was gonna say, it comes out in 2 days. Calm down.
Oh, kitty cat. A kitty cat that looks like Cash. Except not as fat.
You know, chat, I think it's morally acceptable to kill him.
Oh no, it's never morally acceptable to kill Eli. I'm the one who brings the comedy.
Sure. That's a good question, group.
Because I like to destroy values and morals.
Cool. And that wasn't I don't know.
I'm putting Spencer's phone number on an Ashley Madison website just to see what happens.
Cool. I'm not dating anyone right now, so it's like I don't know what you think is gonna happen. You know, I'm gonna get calls from random people. They're just like, "Oh, yeah, I want to have an affair."
I'll just do what we discussed doing to Justin.
I don't love my wife anymore. I wanna.
I'm gonna sign you up for Grindr and put your actual phone number in it.
Yeah, see, that's more what I expected. Oh, all right, but yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow, possibly if I am in a better state than this one. If not,
I won't.
I will be sleeping. So that might just boost my confidence. What? Because I'll have a bunch of gay men complimenting my appearance.
I just heard a bottle of whiskey open.
You didn't. The bottle's across the room, man. I would have had to get up from my desk to go grab it.
What did you just open?
I didn't open anything.
What was that thump
There's a
sound?
spring on my mic.
I don't believe you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They say I'm the alcoholic.
Yeah, you were. Oh, boy. Alright, yep. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side if I'm not dead. Have a great
I will
night.
try and get for you guys. I'm sorry I've been absent.
Tally ho.
Tally ho.